Hey guys, how y'all doing? Hope y'all are doing well. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Um, listen, can we talk? Can we talk? Let's talk early this morning, man. Yeah, let's talk early this morning. I got my coffee this morning as we're doing a morning video. Good morning to y'all. Um, I woke up early this morning, maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock, um, which isn't abnormal for me. Yeah, but I went to sleep really late, so I woke up really early. It's strange how that is, but usually if I fall asleep late, I wake up really early. So yeah, y'all, watch who you trust around your children. Be mighty careful who you trust around your children. Um, I've seen so many stories about children being, um, wow, unalived, um, brutally molested, um, um, all sorts of crazy, crazy hogwash of foolishness. And I put them words together because it's some foolishness to me. It's some foolishness to me. Yeah, just be careful around. Be careful. Be mighty careful about who you allow around your children. Um, I woke up this morning and I saw this story about this guy. I want to call his name. Well, no, I don't want to call his name. I was gonna call his name during the video, but I'm not. I'm not even gonna give him any airtime. Seriously, I'm not even gonna give him any airtime. But they found him. They found him unalived in jail. I don't even know if they had transported him to prison yet because he just got sentenced. Um, I guess if I give enough details, you probably know who it is, but I'm not even going to give his name any airtime for real, for real. But they found him um, dead, unalived. I'm trying not to say any crazy words. I don't want to get blocked off YouTube. But they found him unalived in his cell. Um, he had just gotten sentenced. Um, So obviously he couldn't stand the heat. He couldn't stand the heat. So he shouldn't have been in the kitchen in the first place. But it's crazy how some of these people, they would do some of the most heinous, outrageous, unthinkable crimes. And as soon as they're locked up, they can't stand the heat. But I can almost probably guess, uh, there are a couple different scenarios I probably would guess what happened to him for real. Seriously, um, I've heard some things. I ain't never been to jail or prison. I don't know what it looks like inside of one. Don't want to know what it looks like inside of one. I've never been in the back of a police car. Don't know what it looks like inside of one. Don't want to know what it looks like inside of one. Seriously. Um, and you should want the same for your children. Your children should know what the inside of a jail or prison looks like for real. Um, but I've heard some stories about how a lot of these um, guys that are locked up feel about child crimes. Like they don't play. They don't play. I heard they don't play about a lot of stuff, but they seriously don't play about stuff consider about kids. So if you do something to children, just know, and you get locked up, just know it might not be good for you. Seriously. But this dude had, from what I read, like he violently violated this kid. I think the kid was just 3 years old. She was only 3. Little bitty girl. Violently violated her, and Jesus, man, Lord have mercy. I get so tired of hearing about stuff like this. This dude violently violated this kid, and after he did it, they said he wiped her whole body down with bleach wipes. Bleach wipes. Said he wiped the baby's skin so hard, man, till it changed the pigment of her skin. And then he stuffed the bleach wipes inside of her. Make it make sense, man. Make it make sense. Just an animal. This dude was an animal. Dude was an animal, for real, for real. But he just got sentenced, and they found him unalived. But that's really not why I'm here. The story is that's not why I'm here, man. Apparently, this guy had befriended. This guy had befriended the baby's mother. Yeah, he got in with her mother really, really good, and they were friends. And this mama trusted this dude with her baby. She asked him to watch her baby. I guess she just knew the baby would be in good hands. She would be safe. And this mother had to come back to this foolishness. Unthinkable. I'm going to say it again, man. Be mighty careful who you trust around your children. This dude was basically the baby's mother's friend. Jesus. So, on top of being a rapist, and you having the propensity to unalive people, you're also a manipulator. I would take a shot in the dark and say he knew what he wanted from the beginning. He just knew what he had to do to get what he wanted. So the friendship with the mother obviously wasn't even a real thing. I think people that have the capability of doing things like this, like, I don't think it just happens. I think they have already thought out what they want to do, how they want to do it, with who they want to do it with. And most times when people are able to infiltrate, to get in close with you and get in close with your children, they already know there's something there that's already broken. They see it a mile away. That's why I told y'all in the other video that I had, man, give your kids money. Give your kids money. This has nothing to do with this, but if this baby were a little older, I probably would entertain the notion of this concept. Give your kids money so they don't have to entrust or be exposed to some of these perverts out here, man. These weirdos. If you don't give your kids money, somebody else will. And that's what I mean when I said that. If you don't give your kids money, somebody else will. And it won't be for chores. It'll be for some foolery. It'll be for some foolery. And your kids should never have to be exposed to something like that. They should never have to be exposed to something like that. That's not, I'm sure that's not what happened here. This dude just obviously took what he wanted. This was just a 3-year-old baby. But the concept applies to older kids walking around looking for money. Listen, my nephews are grown now, but when they were smaller, one of my nephews, he seemed to be attached to, for some reason, I don't know the reason, but I really don't care the reason. Me personally, I really didn't care the reason, but his mother told me, because I would check in on them often and I would talk to their mother to see if they needed anything or whatever the case may be, if she was having any problems with them. And this one particular day I called her just to check on her. And she told me, she said, I'm not having any problems. I'm not having any serious problems with them. Besides the oldest nephew, he seems to like to hang around this guy who is much older than him. And when I say much older, my nephew's just a child. And the guy, he's my age. Strangely, I went to school with the guy, so I knew exactly who he was. Never had any problems with him. Haven't seen him since school. And again, I'm 41 years old, so that was a long time ago. I ain't seen the dude since. Wouldn't know him if I saw him in public, honestly and truly. He probably wouldn't know me either, because I look different. But yeah, she told me the only issue she was having, she cannot keep her oldest away from this guy. She keeps telling him to stay away from over there, and every time she turn around, he bike over there. And I had to step in. I had to step in to be Uncle Daddy or Daddy for a minute, because I know what can happen. I know what can happen. I know what could possibly happen. I know the probability of what could possibly happen to then I would say he was maybe 12, 13 years old. And this guy was a fully grown dude. Yeah, kids have no business around fully grown people. Listen, when we were growing up, we weren't in the company of grown folks. We weren't in the company of grown folks' conversation. We were distanced with the ED. We were distanced away from grown folks for good reason. It kept kids in kids' places. It made kids able to just be kids. Certain things children don't need to hear. Certain things children don't need to hear for good reason. And certain things children should never be exposed to. That's a video for another day. certain things children don't need to be exposed to. So when we were growing up, one, we were not allowed in the company of grown folks. Not allowed, period. Period, point blank. If grown folks were around, if grown folks was in the house, you were outside. If grown folks was outside, you better be up the street somewhere or in the house. You, whatever it is, you're gonna be the opposite. You're gonna be the opposite of wherever grown folks are. Believe you me, in my day, today, I see the foolishness. Like, people sit and they talk with kids as if the kids are grown folks, and you wonder why the kids at a certain age are doing like grown folks. They moving like grown folks in all the wrong ways, disrespectful to you, talking to you crazy because you put them in a grown folk position early. Yeah. But not only that, like with this story, we weren't allowed to go into people's houses when we were kids. We weren't allowed to go into people's houses. We weren't allowed to spend the night at our friends' houses when we were coming up. We weren't allowed. We weren't allowed. We tried. We tried. We tried. We come on and can we go to can we spend the night at such and such house? They mama said yeah. And mama was like, no, no, you absolutely cannot. And don't ask me that no more. Don't ask me no crap like that no more. My mom was very no nonsense. My father, both, they were no nonsense parents. They didn't play. They didn't play. They didn't play. Yeah. We weren't gonna be exposed. We weren't even gonna have the opportunity to be exposed like this baby was. Yeah. There was no room for something like this to even happen. Even my mom and dad's friends, like we didn't know them people. We just knew they came around, but we were never close to them. We were never in their face. We were never in their company. We just know the face of the person when grown folks came around. Even our grandparents, same thing. Like, we weren't allowed to be around them like that. It muddies the waters. It muddies the waters with children. And when the waters are muddied, that's where kids almost see you as an equal to them. Yeah. But I know I'm bouncing back and forth. But man, yeah, we weren't allowed to spend the night at our friends' houses when we were kids. There was only one aunt that I was allowed to actually spend the night growing up, and that was kind of the only house I was allowed to spend the night at. I guess that was the only person. My mom knew nothing was gonna happen to me. Outside of that, like, no. Just because somebody is your friend, parents, this for parents, just because somebody is your friend, or you think somebody is your friend, we have a lot of young parents these days. I think we've always had young parents. It just looked different. But we've always had young parents. But young parents back then, I guess they were groomed to be parents. So they already kind of somewhat knew. I'm just guessing, I don't know, just at my age now, listening to older people talk about how they came up and how they were raised and how their grandmother was and how their grandfather was and how their parents were with them. I mean, you can connect the dots, but young parents were groomed better to be able to be parents, be good parents. And today, young parents, they're just they're just having babies. Just having babies. They don't know anything about being a mama or being a daddy, and they don't know. They don't know because their parents really did a lousy job with them. So they can't put into you what they didn't have put into them, if that makes sense. So they're really just having babies. They're just having babies and feeding them. Yeah, just having babies and feeding them till they get grown, and unleashing them into society. Yeah, I don't want to get too much off topic, but it was on my mind, so I had to say it. When things are on my mind, I have to let it out. And things are on my mind a lot. I told y'all my brain is always ticking. Like the rat on the wheel is constant. It's constant even when I'm sleeping. Some nights I have a hard time falling asleep because my brain is steady going. It's steady going. It's steady going. Yeah. The job is never done. But man, be careful who you, especially y'all young parents, be careful who you allow in your space around your children. Don't be so fugazi to allow certain people around your children or to entrust people with your children. Just think of it like this. Whoever you trust around your children, that's not their mother or their father. Whoever you entrust, just know they have the propensity to disappoint you. Think about it like that when you're entertaining the idea, and I think a lot of them, they don't even entertain the idea. Most times, these young people, they just do. They don't even think about it before they do. They just do. They just do. Yeah, y'all have to think better think more before you act, especially when it comes to your children. This is so sad, man. I don't even. The fact of him being unalived isn't sad. I could guess what probably happened to him, but I didn't know about this story until I saw this story aired about this guy, what he had did to this baby, and in the heinous manner he had done it. No, I don't have any pity for him. I don't have any pity for him. But man, be mighty careful who your children are around, and know where your children are at. When kids get a certain age, it seems like parents just all of a sudden trust their kids now. When they get a certain age, they let them roam the streets. They let them go to whoever's house just because, oh, that's their friend. You don't know who's at the friend's house. And most times I take a shot in the dark. They probably don't even know who the friends are. They just know the person's name, but they don't know who the person is. So they probably don't even know how old the person is. Make it make sense, man. Make it make sense. At some point, like, we have to be more accountable for the crazy foolishness like this that happens to our kids. We have to be held accountable at a certain point. The person that did it, yeah, hold them accountable for the heinous crime that they committed. But when are we going to be accountable for our choices? When are we going to be accountable for our choices? Let that sink in. When are we going to be held accountable for our choices? And allowing certain things, just willy-nilly, just, and hoping for the best. Just doing whatever and hoping for the best. Yeah, it's not a laughing matter, but it's when I laughed, it's because it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. The concept of it is crazy to me. We do all kind of foolishness and allow all kind of foolishness, and we just sit back and we hope for the best in our community. Really, really poor planners we are. Poor planners we are. We just do whatever. We go out and we do whatever. We allow whatever. And after we done doing, we just hope for the best. Make that make sense. Make it make sense. We need to do better, and we need to be, I think parents need to be held accountable at a certain point. Yeah. If parents were held accountable to a certain degree, maybe not to the extent of you actually committing the crime like this person did, but if parents were held accountable to a certain degree, some of all of this foolishness that we see, it would cease. I promise you, it would cease. It would cease. We are living in a society where nobody's really being held accountable outside of really crazy stuff that you can't ignore type stuff. But we're living in a society where, nobody's really being held accountable. And let's go do it again and hope for the best. I'm gonna go steal and see if I can get away with it. I got away with it the first time. I'm gonna go steal again and see if I can get away with it like I got away with the first time. And I got away with it. I'm gonna go try it again and see if I can get away with it like I did the first and second time. Like, you literally playing Russian roulette, like just hoping for the best. Hoping for the best. It's the same concept. We are letting our children run amok. We're letting them run amok. Nothing to do with this. I'm just going on a tangent now, man. We are letting our children run amok and hoping for the best. And the best can't be created out of that. The best can't be created out of that. We letting our houses, our homes run amok. We're letting our children run amok. Letting our communities run amok and just hoping for the best. And it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. And that's why we as a community, not as we as a community as a whole, find ourselves, and not all. Remember, if you watch my other videos, when I say all, I don't mean every single person. I mean the majority. The majority. We as a community as a whole, we're always in survival mode because of stuff like this. We just do and we hope for the best. Gotta make it make sense, man. Make it make sense. Damn. But listen, man, watch, be mindful of who you entrust around your children. Stuff like this. This is crazy. It's crazy to me. This 3-year-old baby, 3 years old, never had a chance from the beginning. Obviously, baby never had a chance from the beginning. Sad. We need to do better. People that do heinous crimes like this, they're going to always exist. People that do effed up stuff are going to always exist. The world is never going to be perfect. So if y'all sitting around waiting on that, man, it's never going to happen. The world is never going to be perfect. But the way in which you participate, that you can control. The way you participate and the way you allow your children, your seed, your legacy to participate, that you can control. You can't control what the next person is going to do or how the world is going to be, because all things will always exist, but you can control how you participate in it and what you're going to do about it and how you're going to move around it. Yeah, you can do that. And we need to do a better job at that instead of blaming other people. We need to look at ourselves more. Yeah. I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. Again, good morning. Good morning. I hope y'all have a wonderful, productive day. Thank y'all for watching. And remember to please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy sitting down with me talking. Yeah, I'm not much of a talker, but I have a lot of things on my mind, so maybe that's my purpose, to just let it all out. I don't know, but yeah, subscribe if you enjoy sitting down with me talking, having coffee. I'll see y'all on the next one. Hope y'all have a good day. All righty.